This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, it's Saturday night, and it's all right for fighting.
It's not Saturday night, and for the 100th time, it is not okay to fight in my apartment. Yeah. I just told you about this fight I was involved in on the subway.
Yeah, but it wasn't Saturday night.
So that's what I kept yelling. It's
boys,
not Saturday night.
Boys, fellas,
it's not all right for fighting.
You broke up a fight on how heroic?
I helped to break up a fight. I was not the only hero. There were a lot of us.
But you were a hero?
I was one of the heroes. It was like the Avengers, and I was one of them.
The original Subway hero.
Tom. The original Subway hero. Until the guy made like he was pulling out a gun. Then I went, oh no. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here post haste?
Yeah.
But he didn't have a gun. He was a liar, like most criminals.
Okay.
And everything turned out okay.
That's great, Tom.
Yeah.
Are you going to be knighted for your heroic efforts?
I don't think so, because I'm an American, Tim. They don't knight Americans. There is like a title that they can give an American that's like equal but not a knight.
I think probably like John Voight just got it, and like Chuck Woolery.
I forget what it is. I think it's Sting is English. It's somebody has one, and it's like, oh, that's neat, but like you're not Sir or anything.
Not like Sir Elton Hercules John?
Yes, not like him, who is a knight.
Tom?
A commander of the British Empire, I believe.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It's like different ranks. It's apparently the third from the top.
So Elton John.
And maybe, I assume the top is Queen.
Elton John is a man.
So it's like Queen, Prince or Princess, and then
now you're
Elton
just
John.
naming your favorite rock acts. Queen,
Prince,
the
Elton
Go-Go's.
John.
Yeah. Tom,
Mm-hmm.
Elton John is a man who plays piano, and they made him a knight for it. The original Piano Man.
No, oh boy, that would not sit well with somebody. You mentioned his full name is Sir Elton Hercules John.
Yeah, he's got a movie coming out about him.
Yeah.
Hercules. Disney's Hercules.
But here's
with soundtrack by Phil Collins.
This isn't we're not in the fun facts section of the show yet, but I do want to mention.
Yeah, we're still at the top, man.
He chose the middle name Hercules not after the hero of mythology, but after the horse named Hercules on the British sitcom Steptoe and Son.
Steptoe and Son?
Yeah.
Is that Sanford and Son, the original version of it?
Maybe. It makes sense. It sounds similar enough.
Yeah, it's got a similar name.
Was there a horse on Sanford and Son?
I don't know.
Not to my
Sanford
recollection.
I thought he named it after the scene in The Nutty Professor when the clumps...
It's not the Nutty Oh, that was the Nutty Professor,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah. I don't think it was in the follow-up, The Clumps, where the woman went, Hercules.
No,
Hercules.
it was in the original, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was what made
Elton
America
John
fall in love.
Yeah.
And Elton John with the clumps.
Yeah. He retroactively said, you know what? I'm not named after that horse anymore. I'm named after the clumps.
Yeah, I'm named after the little boy clump who was so strong that it made Mama Clump say Hercules.
The only clump that wasn't played by Eddie Murphy himself.
Right, which is quite a distinction. That'd be a fun factoid to bring up at a cocktail party. Did you know I'm the only clump not played by Eddie Murphy? Presumably he's still in character as...
Do you think anybody went up to Eddie Murphy and was like, hey, man, don't you think you should just do the little kid, too? Like, you know, they did it...
No, I'm sure when they were making that movie, shooting that entire scene was such a nightmare, such a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do it that way. There's other actors they could have hired.
Oh, yeah, but I'm sure even just getting, like, one person that wasn't Eddie Murphy that they had to have sit in a makeup chair and probably like show up late and be mad that he had to like be in makeup for so long. They were probably like, oh, thank
also,
God.
Eddie Murphy, if you're going to be mad about it, don't do it. Hire other actors. But then they wouldn't be able to say Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Well, it would be like Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy and Eddie Murphy, and then it would show the lady, and it would go, and Eddie Murphy?
Right.
Because it's like, oh, yeah, a man, he plays a man a lot. Yeah, he also plays another man a lot. Yeah, okay. Oh, but a woman.
Yeah. Then they'd be like,
He only does
and
that most of it."
introducing John Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, that was John Smith's breakout role. Elton John has a movie about him coming out called
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Which he has a song about, too. Which presumably is going to be in the movie, or else I'm going to want my money back.
Is that the most successful Elton John song? It's the number 1 on Spotify, Tom.
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's the number 1 out of all Elton John songs on Spotify right now. Yeah, right now, but I imagine that doesn't change all that often.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that song could be interpreted like, oh, Elton John is a Rocket Man or the Rocket Man. Like, what other song would you name the movie after that's like, oh, that's also, like, you can call the movie Your Song and be like, the story of Elton John. But you could, Rocket Man, the story of Elton John. He's Rocket Man. Elton John as Rocket Man.
He's too big and physically imposing to call it Tiny Dancer.
Right. Nobody.
And I've never seen him dance.
No. But in Tiny Dancer, he's talking about watching the Tiny Dancer. In Rocket Man, he says, I'm a Rocket Man.
What about I'm Still Standing? Because that wouldn't be a...
That's not terrible. You know what? I'm sure that was on the short list.
Daniel, that wouldn't...
That'd be confusing.
Yeah, Daniel, the Elton John story.
Yeah.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Isn't there already like a movie called that? Maybe I'm thinking of the song Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
You might be thinking of The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
Maybe The Wiz.
Yeah.
Pinball Wizard. I mean, that was a cover of a Who song.
It'd be very confusing to people. Pinball Wizard, the Elton John story.
Yeah, maybe that is the best one. Ooh, I forgot about that song Mona Lisa's and Mad Hatters, Tom.
Yeah.
I hope they play that song in the movie. I'm not going to see this movie. Are you going to see this movie?
I'd like to see this movie. I was going to suggest Crocodile Rock would also be a good name for an Elton John biopic.
That's true.
Yeah.
So would
but then
Saturday
people...
Night All Right for Fighting.
People would be like, oh, I got to drag my kid. Let's see what the new movie, Crocodile Rock. Oh, that's probably one of those bullshit animated movies. And it's like, oh, no, it's Elton John, like, doing coke and, throwing TVs out the window.
Elton John, former drugs person. Elton John, currently not a drugs person anymore.
According to who?
What?
Elton John?
He's so scolding about everybody who is addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, but he's like one of those hypocrite guys.
Like
Elton John, or not even like a hypocrite guy. He's the kind of guy where like I could see him like being real critical of people doing drugs, and then if you were like, yeah, but you do drugs, Elton John, you'd be like, yeah, you got me.
So he changed his name.
He's got to be on like a cholesterol drug or something by now, though.
I don't think Lipitor
well, I'm just saying
falls in the same
you
category.
Know, at the end of the day, what's the difference between Lipitor and Quaaludes?
I don't know. Do they even make Quaaludes anymore?
No. I mean, you can find them, but
you seem you acted upset like you've ever taken a Quaalude.
No, well, that's exactly.
I just call them Ludes.
That's exactly why, Tim, because I think they like stopped manufacturing them by the time we were even born, and it's like, well, now maybe that would have been the drug for me, and now I don't even get a chance to try it.
Okay,
I would have been too scared to try it, but then that would have relaxed me.
We know Hercules is the horse.
Yes.
But do you know where he came up with the name Elton John?
I saw it. Well, and also, have you seen the trailer for Rocket Man?
No.
In the trailer,
what is it about? Some sort of man who's a rocket ship?
Yeah, it's like a knockoff Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
They're just capitalizing on the Avengers fever going on.
Smart
Let's
move.
rush out our version, Rocket Man. Wink, wink. No, I saw the trailer, and there's a part in the trailer where he's with his I guess maybe his first band or whatever.
Do you want to know what his first band was called?
What?
Bluesology.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bluesology sounds like like the name of a band somebody you don't like in college has on your floor. Like, are you coming down to the Bluesology show?
I mean, I bet Elton John or Reginald Kenneth Dwight was a guy on your floor that like you wouldn't hang out with. Right?
But
most
not
people,
that kind of guy. Not the kind of guy who would have a band called Bluesology.
Well, guess what? He was in a band.
I know. Well, luckily that was a phase that he grew out of. But there's a scene in the trailer where he's with presumably Bluesology, and he
the other bluesologists.
Yeah, and he says like, "I'm thinking of changing my name. I'm going to change it to Elton." And another guy's like, "My name's Elton. That's my name."
Yeah, that was the saxophone player Elton Dean.
Oh, okay.
And then there was the singer was named Long John Baldry.
Nice. That's a hell of a name.
Yeah, I don't think
that was his Christian name.
I don't think Long was given to him by his parents.
No,
but he just took their first names, Elton and John, instead of John Elton, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Hey,
Elton John's a better name. Is Elton a first name otherwise?
Elton Dean.
Well, yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, I mean, apparently.
Yeah.
What do you think Elton John's net worth is, Tom? Now, keep in mind...
Inflation, I know.
And?
Investments.
Right, and?
Assets, various rental properties.
He's a hell of a landlord.
Yeah.
He doesn't hire a management company. He does it all himself.
Oh, well, that's
if you live in one of Elton John's properties, you're making out the check to him. You're mailing it to...
Does he even have an LLC or anything?
No.
Just paid to the order of Sir Elton John.
He likes to keep things simple.
Well, you know what? I think he could benefit from hiring somebody, though, to help him out with that stuff.
He's kind of a control freak on that.
He could be making more money, concentrating in other areas.
Tom, wait until you hear what his net worth is. And I got this from wealthygorilla.com, so I know it's accurate.
Well, now I want to know how much that wealthy gorilla is worth. I mean, a wealthy gorilla could have like $5, and that would be like, oh, yeah, well, most gorillas don't have any money.
Yeah, in terms of gorillas.
That is a wealthy gorilla.
This wealthy gorilla is...
No, he just ate the $5. He's back to zero.
Wealthy gorilla has... a picture of Elton John that they've drawn themselves.
Again, I thought it was going to be a wealthy gorilla, like a gorilla with like a bag full of money or something.
No, it's a gorilla.
Is it a gorilla? Hold on, before you show it to me, is it a gorilla? He's wearing like a nice suit and nice glasses, like having a glass of wine.
No, he looks like you can see an X-ray of his brain.
What?
It's at the top there, above the most expensive dogs in the world.
It's not like intelligent gorilla. It's a wealthy gorilla.
Well, all wealthy people are intelligent. Didn't you know this?
No, a lot of them are, it's family money, old money that they have. How much is Elton John worth?
Elton John, born March 25th, 1947. Keep in mind, Tom, I want a ballpark figure here. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
It's over $1 million.
Well,
this guy is at least a millionaire.
Okay.
He released his first solo record in 1969. That's 50 years ago.
Nice.
Was that a 69 nice joke?
No, I didn't intend that. It's
why
weird
is
that your
a
brain
thing?
went
Why
there.
is that a thing that like actual funny people are doing the nice for 69?
Well, not
these
me,
days.
Tim.
50 years ago, he wrote not only The Lion King.
Yeah. 50 years ago he did?
No, he did that in the 90s.
Okay.
He also wrote Billy Elliot, The Dancing Boy, the musical.
Yeah.
Which I don't think made as much money as The Lion King.
No,
but The Lion King
I can guarantee. No, I don't think anything's made as much money as The Lion King.
But Tom, Elton John probably made more off just the movie The Lion King, not even the Broadway show,
right, than
you made this year.
No, I don't know.
I think so.
He didn't even work a full year.
I know he didn't, and I think if you added up last year's income,
of mine or Elton John,
of yours,
okay,
and then the first 5 months of 2019, maybe you'd approach it then,
right?
But yeah, what you've done in a year and a half,
yeah, because he hasn't put out any new music yet this year.
Well,
and he's probably not even getting anything from this biopic.
No. Doesn't
I mean,
it
that's
suck
just
that it's authorized?
like reporting.
Don't you wish that he did? He was like, nobody go see this.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that I guess now this is just a thing, authorized biopics of musicians after We Will Rock You.
Yeah. No, not We Will Rock You. Bohemian
Rhapsody.
We Will Rock You is the stage show that everybody loves so much.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also a song that they had. Yep. I
saw a good portion of Bohemian Rhapsody at the barbershop, Tom.
Yeah, it's where you see all first-run movies.
It really is. I didn't really care for it because it just seemed like you could tell in every line of every scene that it was produced by the people it was about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Apparently, everybody has like an equal share of lines.
Yeah.
Like, nobody cares what Brian May had to say during this. Like, I mean, a little. Not nobody cares. You care a little bit. Brian May is an amazing musician and an important rock and roller.
You don't.
But he's not Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that's true. Who is Freddie Mercury, though? Right?
Well, you have to watch the movie to find out.
I didn't see.
Well, then I guess we'll never know. But it is weird that there are all these authorized biopics nowadays about people who aren't dead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, I mean,
Freddie Mercury's dead, but
I mean that was really the Freddie Mercury movie, right?
Apparently not. Apparently, or at least
they were in it, but like it was never. They were triumphant at every moment, or they always did the virtuous thing.
Right.
So it's like, but we care about the fans so much.
We care about them. We have to go out and play.
Michael Caine was in Queen.
We care about them. We have to go out and play. And
I made a promise to
I told the audience that we would go out and play, and we're going to go out and bloody play.
Take a guess, Tom.
But I was going to say Elton John, too, like an unauthorized biopic. Like
Elton John 2, an unauthorized biopic.
Now that I can see.
Yeah.
No, but Elton John's the type of person that there's so many stories about him. It's like, yeah, an unauthorized thing could be complete baloney,
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where it's hard to separate fact from fiction.
Elton John, I know he went in there and was like, I want to see it all, warts and all, except, mostly the good stuff.
Right.
But how much do you think this 71-year-old man is worth, Tom?
I'm going to say he's worth
72, maybe?
$300 million.
You idiot.
What?
$500 million.
Yeah, I knew.
The wealthy gorilla knows so much more than you.
Well, I guess maybe he is also very smart.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, huh?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean...
That must make him one of the richest musicians.
Yeah. And if he was a magician, he'd be probably the
off the charts.
How much... Hold on. I'm just going to ask the wealthy gorilla how much David Copperfield is worth.
Now, you assume David Copperfield's the wealthiest magician.
Who would be richer?
David Blaine? But no. David Blaine doesn't produce Penn and Teller.
They have Daniel Radcliffe as search result for David Copperfield.
Well, he was
Joe
also
Latrulio.
All right.
But no.
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield.
He made the page on Wealthy Gorilla disappear.
It was very. What?
What?
All right. They say his salary.
Okay.
I didn't know he was a salary man, Tom.
Yeah.
They say his salary is $60 million.
Now, is that hourly he gets paid, you think?
Well, maybe.
And does that include benefits? Does that include like his health insurance and 401k and all that?
You ready for this? David Copperfield net worth, $1 billion.
What? No.
Yeah, because he could just go into any bank.
Yeah, and just walk out.
Yeah, just walk out. Nobody would know.
Yeah.
He'd just get the money from the vault. It would go straight into the normal-looking duffel bag that he was carrying.
And then he brings it to the teller and says, hello, I'd like to make a deposit.
Yeah. And they're just like, oh.
And they're none the wiser.
This is weird because this happens to be exactly the amount of money that we have in the vault.
No, he does it before they've even checked the vault.
I know, but they're like, well, now we have double the amount of money in the vault.
No, they have the same amount of money. Nothing's missing. So it doesn't raise any suspicions.
So he doesn't take the money at all. That's how he does it.
Yeah, he deposits it right away. And then they're counting the money, and they're like, same amount of money that was here yesterday.
Wow. David Copperfield never ceases to amaze.
It's 2019. You need a website. If you don't have a website, come on, get with the program. And I'll tell you how. Squarespace.
Hey, I love Squarespace, Tom. We use them.
Of course we use them, Tim, because they have beautiful templates created by world-class designers, powerful e-commerce functionality, lets you sell digital things, physical things. They don't care. Do both, for goodness sakes. They have a way to buy domains and choose from over 200 extensions. They have all these wacky, it's not just all .com and .biz nowadays, Tim. They got a lot of different domain names. And
.computer.
Sure. And Squarespace is a one-stop shop for all of that stuff. You don't have to, piecemeal everything together. You just go there. And here's where to go specifically. Go to squarespace.com/guide for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GUIDE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And that includes, if you're buying like a whole year at once, you can get 10% off that whole year with the promo code GUIDE. Destiny is calling. It says you need a new website. Make it with Squarespace.
Tom, before you hit stop on that, we use Squarespace.
You mentioned that.
We love it. I sign into Squarespace all the time, and it's easy, and it's a joy, and I update websites like it's my dang job. Sometimes it is my job.
A personal endorsement from Tim.
Yeah.
Squarespace.com/guide.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
all right, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Elton John has had a long and storied career.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way we're going to cover it all.
No.
We don't have time for it. That's what I presume, 12-hour movie Rocket Man is going to do.
I don't think it's that long. I don't know how long it is, though. My guess would be a little over 2 hours, like most movies nowadays.
But how much David Copperfield material do you think's in the movie?
My guess would be none. As far as I know, they have not interacted.
Oh, I think
they've probably met at cocktail parties, at Copperfield parties, but probably nothing too meaningful.
All right. 2 hours, 1 minute, Tom.
Okay.
Rocket Man. So, hey, look, Rocket Man. What else? Benny and the Jets.
Yeah.
Pinball Wizard. The B word is back. Everybody knows everything about Elton John. Maybe there's some stuff you...
Oh, The Bitch is Back would have been a good title for his biopic.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
I bet
was
he
another.
says it at some point in the thing.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
then-
if you can put bitch on a movie poster. It's like when Bill and Ted Goes to Hell had to be Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah, but then guess what? That Johnny Depp movie came out. It was called From Hell.
Yeah, and you were obviously so affected by it, you still remember it.
And
so.
what about Hellboy?
What about Hellboy?
It was a boy from hell, and they made a whole movie about him.
Tim, what about Hellraiser? Those movies were coming out around the time Bill and Ted went to hell.
Yeah. What? Are you allowed to raise hell, but you're not allowed to go there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather go there than have it come to me.
Yes.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Ever hear of freedom? Well, it's not free.
Yeah. Ever hear of Pinhead?
I wish I hadn't.
Yeah.
Looks like his face hurts.
Yeah.
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
You got any fun facts about Elton John that people might not know? You want me to go first?
No. I mean, I told you about his name, so I kind of already had a fun fact.
Everybody knows that, Tom.
I was surprised. I did not know this when I was doing my research, that he was in Alice in Chains' 2009 album. After
he joined Alice in Chains?
he recorded on the album.
Okay.
He did not join them. But it was after their singer died.
Yeah,
remember when the singer died?
In, the 90s.
Yeah,
Lane Staley.
Yeah. But this article I was reading, where was this art? It was from I think it was from The Guardian, and I was kind of surprised that this was how they put it, because they, so they said, first album in more than a decade, Lane Stanley died in... Staley. Oh, you should have changed it to Stanley. It's easier to remember. Staley died in 2002.
I thought he died in the 90s.
I know, that's why I corrected you. Jerry Cantrell told Rolling Stone, it takes a big set of fucking balls, 4 sets of balls, to take on a challenge like this. We did it for the same reason we've made music before.
To take on a challenge like what?
For the title track, a real raw, open-hearted song, the band added a 5th set of balls, Sir Elton's.
What was the title track?
Black Gives Way to Blue.
What?
Also about balls, baby. I don't know. It just had a lot of talking about balls.
Yeah.
If I was Sir Elton, I'd be like, don't say they added a 5th set of balls, Sir Elton's ball. Enough.
Yeah.
Just say,
and now, like, they were like, and joining us on this track,
another set of balls.
A man's testicles and the man that those testicles are attached to.
Yeah. Well, and it just seems like, this guy's saying 4 sets of balls. It's like, you don't know. Somebody could
Jerry
be missing
Cantrell,
a
by
ball.
the way.
Yeah, Jerry Cantrell.
Not just any man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but then Rolling Stone's assuming that Elton has a complete set of balls. He might have 1 extra. He might have 1 fewer. He might not have any. Who knows? That's his business and not Rolling Stone magazine's.
Hey, you think Rolling Stone doesn't have fact checkers? You ever see the movie Almost Famous?
Yeah.
That almost torpedoed the whole freaking Sweetwater. What was the name of the band?
Yeah, I think it was
Stillwater.
Stillwater.
It almost torpedoed the whole Stillwater expose that Patrick Fugit was writing.
Yeah, you remember the guy's name, but not the band.
No, the actor.
Yeah. Oh, that's his. I don't remember really anything about that movie. I was on drugs the entire time, like the band.
Wow,
man.
Cool.
It's on Quaaludes.
It's a good movie. It's one of those movies that I don't want to go back and watch.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's not really a good movie.
Yeah. I was going to rewatch a movie the other night. That was, you're going to be so mad. I was going to go back and rewatch Terminator Genesis the other night.
Why? Just watch Terminator 2 again. You know that one's good.
Because I'm going to watch Terminator Genesis tonight probably. Because I kind of can't, I remember watching it and thinking, I can't believe how bad that was. And even now, I doubt. I'm like, nah, it couldn't have been that bad. And I'm about to get fooled again.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's how they get me.
Tom, everybody involved in making that movie was like, sorry, we know it was bad. We lied to everybody and said we thought it was good at the time, but we were just trying to make money.
Yeah.
But guess what? This new one we're making, this one's going to be good.
Yeah, when you told me last week the new one, you idiot, don't fall for it.
Yeah.
I watched a video where they showed, side by side, James Cameron saying literally the same thing about about Terminator Genesis.
Yeah.
Well, no, this one I'm involved in. We're gonna pretend the last 2 didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then this one, he's like, well, this time I'm involved. We're gonna pretend the last 3 didn't happen.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's under the sea in his submarine.
No, he's playing with the avatars now.
You know what?
He's making 7 Avatar movies.
Everyone makes a big joke out of these Avatar movies.
But they're not a joke to me.
I guarantee you any one of them will be 10 times better than the last 5 Terminator movies.
Yeah. No, not the last 5.
Or however many they made after 2.
They made 3.
Doesn't matter. Tom, do
Mm-hmm.
you know that Elton John, when he started his career back when he was still Reginald Dwight.
Yeah. Reggie Dwight's not a bad baseball player name.
Yeah, you're thinking of Reggie Jackson.
I'm thinking of Reggie Jackson and what's his name? Doc Gooden.
Dwight Gooden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's combining the two. Reggie.
That's how he got his original name.
His parents combined Reggie Jackson and Dwight Gooden.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you say Dwight Gooding?
Dwight Gooden.
Okay.
Dwight Goodwin.
So Elton John was like, he was like, oh, I'm Reggie right now. He was still playing as just a guy named Reggie.
Yeah.
Like that was his stage name, Reggie.
Mm-hmm. Just one word?
Yeah. It's
Well,
like,
that's
ladies
pretty
and
cool,
gentlemen,
too.
Reggie. It's
Yeah,
not
I'd
like
be
the
into that.
coolest name, though. Anyway, he was like, oh, I know. I'll wear Buddy Holly glasses on stage. And he's like, okay. And so he got these big, thick Buddy Holly glasses, but he didn't need glasses.
Yeah.
But he wore them all the time so he would look like Buddy Holly. And his eyes adjusted. And to this day, he needs glasses because he messed up his eyes trying to look like Buddy Holly.
You think that's what happened to Buddy Holly, too? You think maybe they're cursed glasses?
No, I think Buddy Holly probably needed glasses.
Well, he's not.
That's why he had glasses.
He's not around to ask.
I know, Tom. He died, along with the Big Bopper.
Yeah. And who else? One other guy.
Richie Valens? No, that was a different. That was a different plane crash.
Yeah. Here's another.
Don McLean was all upset about it.
Yeah.
He said it was the day that the music died.
Right. Which, then it's like, well, then how'd you write this song, Don McLean?
Oh, wow.
Answer me that. What is this, if not a song?
Oh, wait, Richie Valens was on that plane. You laughed at me.
Yeah, because I just assume you're wrong to make you self-conscious.
Yeah, no, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper.
Whose real name was Richie Valens.
J.P. Richardson.
Oh, okay. Here's a fact I have about Elton John, Tim. I'm not talking about J.P. Richardson. This one, I don't know. I don't have a secondary source, but it sounds plausible. Well, the first one I do know. The first part of this fact. In 1979, Elton John was the first Western rock star to perform in the USSR.
Okay.
Which is an interesting fact. But then this is where I'm like, oh. For many Russians, it was the first time they had seen a rich Westerner. Believing we all dressed and acted this way, the gaudy Russian luxury industry was born.
No, not true.
Right? That seems like you have
So,
proof
like,
for that?
Everyone in Russia started dressing like Donald Duck.
Right, or the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. No.
And I feel like
Rag, did you get this from?
I feel like when you go back, Russian, even before the USSR was there was they were real into gold and jewels, the rich.
Yeah, rich people are always
oligarchy.
wearing gaudy things.
Yeah, that's what rich people.
Look what I wear, Tom. These
Sure.
silk robes.
I don't know how you can even bend your fingers with all those rings on.
Well, they clank around a lot, too.
We have to remove it all in post. It's unbelievable.
Tom,
What?
Elton John has at least 3 godchildren.
Mm-hmm.
He's the godfather, the original godfather.
I'm going to ask you to do something for me. Is that the Godfather? Is
Yeah.
that the famous line from the Godfather?
Yeah. I'm going to do the thing, and everybody's going to say. And this is what Elton John said to Sean Lennon, the son of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Yeah, he said, Sean Lennon, I'm the godfather. I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah.
And the thing was play music in concerts all over the world to
So
adoring fans.
then how come when John Lennon died, Elton John didn't marry Yoko Ono and step in as Sean Lennon's father?
I don't think that's how godfathers work. Tom.
You sure?
I think so. But I don't know. Tom,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to let me finish? You're trying not to let me finish, but there's 2 other...
Can I finish?
There are 2 other children that call Elton John the Godfather.
What was that?
This is how people say the Godfather. Say it with me.
Brooklyn
Brooklyn and Romeo Beckham.
Yeah.
Children of David and Victoria Beckham.
Are they? Is that?
Posh Spice
Is that?
herself.
Are they boys, girls, boy and a girl?
Brooklyn and Romeo Beckham.
Yeah, I have no idea if those
Yeah,
are boys'
he's
names
the
or-
Godfather. They were famous. Everybody knows
That's
them.
not my question.
I'm guessing Romeo Beckham is a boy because of
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's already got an Instagram. He's already Tom.
Yeah.
He looks like a man.
I mean, how old is he? He probably is a man.
How long is Posh Spice and David
Tim,
Beckham? What?
Why are you surprised by this?
I thought it would be a baby.
No.
He was born in 2002. He's 17 years old. He's already got 2 million followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
Get this, Tom.
What?
Millie Bobby Brown confirmed to be dating Romeo Beckham. I should care about this as a grown man, right?
Yeah. Well, he probably only got all those followers because his godfather's Elton John. Is that mentioned in the bio?
No. Oh, Brooklyn Beckham is also a boy.
And how old's Brooklyn?
20 years old.
Wow.
You
Those
wanna know how
Beckham
many
boys
followers
are old now. I would like to know how many followers he has. I bet it's even more.
Yeah, it's freaking. He had a 2-year head start.
Yeah.
11.5 million.
Wow,
Jesus
That's a lot
Christ.
more.
Who's he dating, right?
Yeah. Well, find out.
is there
Find
a
out and
Mrs.
report
Beckham?
back. I mean, yeah, Posh Spice.
Oh, what? You want to know who his godmother is?
Who?
Everybody's favorite devil from the movie Bedazzled?
Liz Hurley.
Elizabeth Hurley.
Nice.
Yeah, not to be confused with Liz Thurley, according to
I would like to
Wikipedia.
be raised by Elton John and Liz Hurley.
Yeah. Yeah. I would try to engineer some sort of boat accident with
With your actual parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, David and Victoria Beckham were really rolling the dice, naming them as
How
godparents.
did godparents work? Like, would Elton John and Liz Hurley have to move into the same house to raise those kids?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of like an assumption, like, hey, something happens, one of you two is gonna, like, I don't know, make sure this isn't terrible, right?
No. I don't know. Anyway.
I mean, I think it's an honorary title like knight is. You know, if England goes to war tomorrow, they're not going to be like, all right, Elton, well, you're a fucking commander. Get over here. We need some strategy.
They'd be like, come
Put the suit on. Clank your way in here.
If you were a knight,
Uh-huh.
like, I know they wouldn't have a picture taken of this. Do they make you get in the armor for a minute as part of the thing?
No, but I would insist, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why you and I will never be knights. It's one of the many reasons. One of
I
the
would
couple
also,
reasons we'll never be knights.
Like, at the very least, I would, if I was made a knight, I'd be like, this is a great excuse to always have a sword.
Yeah, that's true.
And nobody, excuse me, sir, can you tell me what the sword? Yeah, I could tell you what the sword's for. It's for me. It's because I'm a fucking knight.
I don't want to carry a sword around. I'd leave it in
I'd
places
have
and
my
then you're responsible
I'd have my
for it.
liege carrying it.
Your what?
My liege.
Your what?
My liege. No, he would call me his liege, right?
His what?
You know when people are like, my liege,
No.
my liege, I've seen to the...
What is liege?
That's like, it's a term of...
That's what I say when I say I'll get to that at my liege.
Oh, no, it's not just shortening leisure in a cool way.
Hey, you play this new video game, Liege Suit Larry? Liege Suit Larry?
What do they call the knight's assistant?
I don't know. You know stuff like this.
Yeah, it's like, it's not a caddy.
Does Elton John have one of these?
That's what I want to know. I would assume the government provides him one. A squire. That's what they're called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy Squire.
Billy Squires? Elton John Squire?
I think so.
Huh. Makes sense. Tim, did you know that, speaking of John Lennon, which we were.
Like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, then you brought up the Beckham kids just because they're better looking. In 1974, during one of Elton's concerts at Madison Square Garden, John Lennon joined him on stage to perform 3 songs. It was part of a bet. Elton had bet Lennon that if the song Whatever Gets You Through the Night went to number 1, he would join Elton on stage. This happened 6 years before John Lennon was assassinated, and it was his last onstage performance.
He didn't perform for 6 years?
Yeah, which I was kind of surprised that he never appeared on stage, because he was still making music during that time.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, but he never went on stage.
You know what that reminds me of?
The Beatles.
The famous bet between Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis.
What was that bet?
If the whole 9 yards went to number 1 at the box office,
Yeah.
Well, Bruce Willis is like, well, just stop right there. It'll never happen.
Oh.
And Matt Perry was like, yeah, I think it will. And if it does, you're going to have to come and do a guest stint on the television program Friends with me.
Oh, is that how it happened?
And that's how it happened, folks.
Was Matthew Perry in the whole 9 yards?
Yeah, and so was...
I know Bruce Willis was.
Yeah, and so was
Chris Rock?
Michael Clark Duncan.
Maybe I'm thinking
He
of
was
CB4.
the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, CB4 came out 10 years earlier and had nothing to do with it.
All right.
Didn't have one person in common with it.
I'm just thinking prison movies, right? Whole 9 yards is a prison movie. No, I'm thinking
The Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Is Chris Rock in The Longest Yard?
Yeah, with Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay. I always get
Yeah.
Adam Sandler and Bruce Willis confused.
That's true. Tom?
Did they ever make that movie, The Whole 10 Yards? That came out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amanda Peet, she was in those movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More like her career, Amanda petered out after that, right?
I mean, it's true.
She was on that TV show I liked, actually.
What TV show?
The one with the Doofy Brothers. Who are those Doofy Brothers that
The
make
Smothers Brothers? She was on the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour?
Yeah. She was
Oh, wow.
hilarious.
She did yo-yo tricks. She would show them up.
Oh, no. Nobody comes on and shows up the Smothers Brothers with a yo-yo trick. Tom, Bernie Taupin.
Yeah. The song is, lyricist.
Yeah, wrote lyrics for most of Elton John's hits, for most of his career, right? They had a falling out at some point, I think, and then they got back together or whatever. They met when they both answered a freaking ad in NME. You know it as New Musical Express.
Right.
But back in the freaking 60s...
That's how that shit happened.
Everybody got their jobs just by answering an ad, and then just randomly some guy was like, all right, you... Elton John, or at this point Reginald, and you, this guy Bernie, hey, you guys write songs together. And it turned out they were both really good at what they did.
Yeah.
And worked well together. My parents had a tribute to them called 2 Rooms, the songs of Bernie Taupin and Elton John.
They performed a tribute? They had
My parents?
Yeah, they had a tribute.
Yeah.
It was an off-Broadway thing.
No, it was a CD compilation.
And it was Elton John and Bernie Taupin's music.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It was nice. It was a nice CD.
What made it different than like greatest hits from Elton John?
Because other people performed them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It was star-studded, Tom.
Did you know? Speaking of stars, here's one of my facts. I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Yeah.
That's Stevie Wonder playing the harmonica.
Nobody plays the harmonica like Stevie, Tom.
Yeah.
I smelled that. I hate that song.
Smelled that. You heard it.
Smelled that harmonica.
You hate that song? I like that song.
That's
why I call it the blues.
I think I saw a version where Elton John sang that with Mary J. Blige.
Uh-huh.
It's really good.
Huh.
Yeah.
As a duet?
Yeah, it was a duet.
Oh, that's probably a good duet because he's singing in like kind of 2 different voices.
Yeah.
When he does it.
Another good duet was with George Michael.
Yeah.
Remember that became...
George Michaels.
No.
That's not George Michaels?
No. George Michael.
Oh, okay.
You don't know anybody's last name.
No, I don't.
It'd be really cool, a Lane Stanley and George Michael's duet.
Yeah, they can get Dwight Gooding in there. He can pitch hit.
Do you remember there was a weird time in the early 90s where the live version of Don't Let the Sun Go Down
That
on Me?
song was on the radio on a loop.
Why? Like, that's a great song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it was half of that $500 million is ASCAP royalties from just that song being played so much.
Z100 in 1993. Yeah. I don't know why, because it's fitting. It's what should have happened. But George Michael sings the first verse, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Elton John."
Yeah.
And everybody freaks out. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Or was it at a George Michael? It was at Live Aid? Where was it?
I don't know. I thought it was while they were like touring together, but it could have still been like maybe they were touring together and it was like George Michael did his entire set and then he closes with that. And everybody's like, oh, that's cool. He's closing with Elton. Oh, Elton's coming out for it? Now it's time for the real show. This is what we've been waiting for. Sir Elton John. Who was not yet a sir by that point, by the way.
In 1991, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me was covered in a live version as a duet by George Michael and Elton John. The pair first performed the song at Live Aid in 1985.
And is that
with Michael singing and John playing? 6 years later, George Michael's cover-to-cover tour regularly included this. Wait, when was the... Then when was... Oh, it was live at Wembley Arena in 1991.
So it was a surprise appearance.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense. Then, all right.
When I was a kid hearing that song all the time, I always thought it was weird. I was like, and at some point Elton John's going to be like, and George Michael.
Yeah, it's like, why didn't you reciprocate?
Yeah.
Yeah. That always bothered me.
That he didn't reciprocate? Or
that
everybody went so
it.
crazy?
Yeah, but I guess it was a...
Yeah.
Yeah. If I saw some guy, I mean, it was a George Michael concert, I'd be like, play Faith.
Probably by that point he already had. He might have even opened with it.
No. I don't know.
Or maybe he played Freedom 1989 to open with.
Yeah. By that point, it was 2 years old, though.
I was reading an old article. It was actually the Rolling Stone interview where he came out as bisexual. Before then, it was like years and years later before he came out as gay. But he was talking about this is what was crazy. He was 29, and this interview was essentially him saying like, "Yeah, I'm taking a lot of time off, maybe all the time off. Maybe I'm never playing live again." And he was only 29 at this point.
Yeah.
But it's also...
Now he's 100 and he's still playing.
Well, so literally he said, I mean, who wants to be a 45-year-old entertainer in Las Vegas like Elvis?
Yeah, but he waited till he was like 65 before he did the Vegas. Residency.
But it's so crazy. I mean, we've talked about this on the show before, how like when we were kids... They made a big deal that like the Rolling Stones were going on tour and they were like all in their 40s. And people were like, oh, they're going to be wheeling them out. They're going to all have oxygen tanks and stuff. Back then, everybody was like, man, playing music as a 45-year-old is pathetic and sad.
I just remember reading a thing about Kurt Cobain when he was like real addicted to heroin or something, or really just hated being on the road and wanted to... And they were like, well, they had to send in Michael Stipe, the elder statesman of rock, who'd been through it all.
He was probably like, 23 or something?
He was 31, and Kurt Cobain was 25 or 26. And they were like, this old man was his only hope.
Yeah. We thought the divide in their ages might be too much to overcome. He wouldn't listen to a wash-up old has-been like 31-year-old Michael Stipe.
Oof. But they were tricked because they were like, well, he's bald. He must be pretty old.
Yeah. Tim, we're skipping one of the most important collaborations of them all. Is tours with Billy
the original.
Joel. The original night. The Knight of Long Island.
The original Rocket Man.
The King of Long Island.
Billy Joel.
Why didn't they call it Piano Man meets Rocket Man? Piano Man versus Rocket Man. Probably because it's like, well, I'd go for the rocket. That's a much better weapon than a piano.
Yeah, I don't think...
but not to win a heart. That's what Billy Joel would say.
Tom, so...
I'm imagining this as like a Ice Capades-esque. Like they both come out in the beginning. They're wearing like costumes and they're lip syncing to like tracks.
No, they did a face-to-face tour.
Yeah.
In 1994.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bummed I didn't go see this ever. In 1994, I was 12, so I probably didn't have the opportunity. I think my parents went, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah.
When it came to the Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah. Well, it didn't come to the Nassau Coliseum, but it did
Madison Square Garden.
To the PNC? Giant Stadium?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom, but then they did it again in 2009.
Yeah.
I was definitely old enough to go.
Oh, absolutely.
My own volition.
I don't even really remember them doing this again.
No, but they were in the midst of a feud afterwards. Billy Joel stopped playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, they in 2010, they were rumored to do a second leg of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Billy Joel said, nah. I was gonna take the year off. He just coincidentally had to go to rehab and stuff.
Yeah.
But he also said it got to be a little confining because Elton John insisted that they keep playing the same sets every night.
Why?
Because Elton John's like a consummate performer. He's
right.
like, do what works, and Billy Joel's like, no. I need to shuffle the same 14 songs I play every night into a different order.
Well, would they play together?
Oh, yeah. Tom, do you want to know what the set list was
Every
like?
song they would play together?
No.
Yeah,
Ready?
Let me hear his set list.
The song, the lights come up.
But then the lights go down on Broadway.
Not yet.
Okay.
At the end.
Okay.
Sometimes they'd come out to Yankee Doodle.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't understand why they would start the show with Yankee Doodle. I want to hear that version.
Would they would play it, or they would just walk out to it, doing like a little march?
Unclear. Yeah, maybe there's Doodle, Billy, Joel, Elton John. The show is me now.
You're just searching things.
Yeah. No. So sometimes it'd be, for some reason, Yankee Doodle.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'd go right into your song.
Okay.
The two of them at pianos facing each other, playing
like
together.
Donald and Daffy.
Yeah. Then, boom, into Honesty, the Billy Joel song. Honesty. And then, stealing some of George Michael's thunder in 1994, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me.
Do you think Billy would sing the part and ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Elton John?
See, that's how I always pictured it on the George Michael record.
That he was there the entire time.
Yeah, it's like, who was playing the piano then?
Yeah.
And then Billy Joel fucks off. He's like, I'm going to go drink an entire bottle of red wine.
Yeah.
In Elton John stays, he plays Philadelphia Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Take Me to the Pilot, which I don't know.
That's just a song about a turbulent airplane.
Yeah, he's like, I'd like to see the pilot. Give him a piece of my mind. Leave On. Whew. Imagine seeing him play.
I know that song.
And it shall be leave on, and it shall be a good man.
Okay.
Rocket Man.
Mm-hmm.
Simple Life, which I don't know. I think was the theme song to the Paris Hilton show. This was around the time of the One, that album.
Yeah.
So I think there were some songs from
okay.
including The One.
Right.
Which was next after. Then without Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Joel nowhere to be found.
They're frantically searching for Billy Joel.
Popping the cork on his second bottle of wine underneath the stage, hiding.
Yeah.
In like a crawl space. So Elton John's like, all right, let me play New York State of Mind myself.
Yeah, I guess they can't find Billy. I'll just have to do
every
it.
Every night. Then Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, which is a great song. Then Billy Joel would come back out, sing. They'd sing. I guess that's why they call it the blues.
The blues,
Much like Mary J. Blige did.
Do you think Billy Joel played harmonica for that?
No, he doesn't play harmonica, does he?
No. Yeah, he does. He does play harmonica.
Does he?
Yeah.
Maybe he whistled it like in The Stranger.
Oh, that'd be even better. No, he plays harmonica live sometimes.
Then Billy Joel wanders off again. Then Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Again, this
From
was
The
right
Lion
around
King.
the time. That's a pretty good song.
Yeah.
What's the best song from The Lion King?
Yeah, probably that.
Nope, Circle of Life. Then Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
That gets
and Billy
back
Joel's
out.
getting all revved up. And then Elton John plays Pinball Wizard, and Billy's like, "This is my song." Then he runs out, taps out Elton John. Elton John runs off to go look at feet backstage. And then Billy Joel, bam, I go to extremes. Pressure. For some reason, Born to Run. Angry Young Man. So this is a
Jeez,
power
he's coming
pack.
out fucking swinging.
Then guess what?
What?
Turns around, make sure Elton John's not around.
Yeah.
Plays Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Oh, no.
Then guess what? Scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Is he playing fucking Good Night, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road? That's my song. In it.
Yeah, so Elton John hears this. He storms back out, all while Billy Joel is playing Scenes from an Italian Restaurant, trying to find the stage. He got lost in a mess. He kept getting distracted by feet. And then he runs out just in time to sing My Life with Billy Joel.
Yeah, the theme from Bosom Buddies.
Yeah. And then he gets tired, I guess, and leaves. Billy Joel plays Allentown.
Yeah.
A couple tracks off of his newest record, The River of Dreams, Lullaby and The River of Dreams. Then We Didn't Start the Fire. Then It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. Then Only the Good Die Young. And then Big Shot.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's the 29th song of the night. 30 if we played
Yankee Doodle.
Surely that must be it.
Yeah, jeez, I can't imagine any more songs.
Boom! Elton John and Billy Joel. Again, the bitch is back. You may be right. Benny and the Jets. Hard Day's Night for some reason. Lucille by Little Richard for some reason. Great Balls of Fire for some reason. Candle in the Wind, As Time Goes By, and Piano Man.
Man.
38 songs.
Is there a DVD of this that
I don't know.
that I can purchase and watch every night?
I would pay like $1,000 for this DVD.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah.
There have to be bootlegs out there. Tim, we're gonna have to get involved in the Billy Joel Elton John bootlegging circuit.
Look, I know most of this episode was just us listing off songs.
Yeah.
But
hey, that's what happens when you do a show about a guy that's got a lot of songs.
Yeah. Turns out we don't have enough time to do a problem, right? Do we have time to do a problem?
We can do a quick one.
Can I talk about some rivalries?
Sure, we'll do that instead. We'll pretend this is an email that Elton John sent in.
Elton John did not confine his fighting just to Saturday nights.
No.
He fought Madonna.
Yeah, not physically.
No, she won an award. He won an award, and she had won an award earlier in the night. And he said, Madonna, Best Live Act, because she won Best Live Act.
Right.
And he wrote, and he said this.
He
said,
he silently wrote
said,
the podium.
Madonna, Best Live Act, fuck off. Since when has lip syncing been live? Sorry about that, but I think everyone who lip syncs on stage in public when you pay like 75 quid to see them should be shot. Thank you very much. That's me off her Christmas card list, but do I give a toss? No.
Wow.
He said this in his acceptance speech.
When you're supposed to just be gracious.
Yeah. Rod Stewart and Elton John, they're like frenemies.
Yeah, I saw some of that stuff and I was like, nah, this sounds like banter. This sounds like some good-natured ribbing.
They had balloons for some reason, like big balloons that were promoting a Rod Stewart show. Mm-hmm. And Elton John hired a sniper to shoot them out of the sky.
Yeah, which, like, that can't be legal, right?
Maybe it's
like
You're a knight. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
he had his squire do it.
Yeah. Go shoot those fucking balloons out of the sky.
Guess what? Billy Joel. Here's what he said about Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Billy's a conundrum. We've had so many canceled tours because of illnesses and various other things. Alcoholism. He's going to hate me for this, but every time he's gone to rehab, they've been rehab light. When I went to rehab, I had to clean the floors. He goes to rehab where they have TVs.
Huh.
Yeah.
When did Elton John go to rehab? Do you know?
A million times.
Yeah.
I think in the 80s. Billy Joel doesn't like that Elton John keeps putting out records because he thinks like the new records are bad.
Yeah.
He said, Elton would say to me, why don't you put out more albums? I would say, why don't you put out less albums? Which I think is a good zinger, Billy Joel. They buried the hatchet, Tom.
Well, then why am I not seeing them out headlining another phenomenal tour?
Alcoholism. He talks about Keith Richards a lot.
Who does?
Elton John. He's got a feud. I'm glad I've given up drugs and alcohol. It would be awful to be like Keith Richards. He's pathetic. It's like a monkey with arthritis trying to go on stage and look young.
I like when people can get to the stage in their career where it's like, oh, I can say anything. And people will just be like, that's him.
Yeah. He had a feud with his mom that he won.
Well, that makes sense. He's a rich, powerful man.
Yeah, she died.
Oh, that's how he won.
They say they might have reconciled. I don't know. And then unrelated, did you know that Richard Gere and Sylvester Stallone had a big feud?
After Tango and Cash or during Tango and Cash?
I think after.
Okay.
And Elton John unwittingly played a role in it by inviting them both to a party with Princess Diana there.
Yeah.
And Richard Gere and Sylvester Stallone were both fighting over Princess Diana.
Oh, man. Boy, if I was having a party and Princess Diana was coming, I would not invite Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, right? He would just do something.
Yeah, come on. You're
Richard Gere, hey.
Richard Gere seems like a very nice guy,
Yeah.
but Sylvester Stallone, you're rolling the dice
Yeah.
about what he might come out with or say.
I think
This was so this was after she was divorced or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can you imagine if it was like, big news, Princess Diana is now with Sylvester Stallone. She's found love again, and it's in the muscular arms of Rambo himself, Sylvester Stallone. Sly, she calls him. Her Sly.
I think this was the definitive guide to Elton John.
Yeah, you don't need to go see
career.
this movie
Yeah.
now. 3,500 concerts he's done. Over 3,500.
He's on a 2-year farewell tour.
3 years.
3 years.
It got extended.
Did I miss it? Is he coming back to New York?
I think he is coming back. We should go see him.
I know, Tom. Secret's out. You and I are going to see Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited about it.
Yeah, to keep that a secret from it's
Yeah,
your
I know.
birthday present that
I
I
know.
got for you.
Well, no, you didn't get it. I
No,
mean, you bought
I-
your ticket.
Yeah, and yours. Everybody else's that's going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to make a big deal out of
It's
it.
very generous of
So
you.
I kept it under my hat.
If Elton John's coming back to the New York area, I'm in. I think he might only be hitting the Nassau Coliseum at this point.
Well, come on, man. Who would be more likely to show up at Nassau Coliseum?
Oh, shit, it's right down the street.
Stumbling onto the stage.
Oh, drunkenly riding a motorcycle, like, recklessly.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
He goes to stop and he puts the kickstand down, but then it lurches forward again. If you like the show, find out more at tcgt.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Complete Guide. Follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
Check out our subreddit, r/TCGTE. If you want to support the show, support our sponsors. Check them out. Also, check out tcgt.com/Amazon for your normal, everyday Amazon shopping. It's a fun, easy, it's not fun. It's just an easy, free way to support the
It's
show.
really fun.
I mean, it's a goddamn blast. And also, patreon.com/Complete Guide for our weekly other podcast called Books of Podcast, where this week we were wrapping up, and then there were none. Tim has watched the movie, and then there were none?
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh, well, yeah, go sign up so you can listen to Tim
What?
not like something.
Yeah, so what? That's what people
People
listen to anything
want to
for.
spend their money on positivity, Tim. They don't want a bad rap.
I'll be fun about it. It'll be almost as fun as shopping at Amazon, Tom.
And if you have a problem you'd like us to solve, email us at completeguide@everything@gmail.com. We're low on problems. We've got some that we're holding on to,
Yeah.
but
Well, we're big on problems because we don't have a lot of problems coming in. We
yeah.
have a lot of problems because a lot of problems have it because we don't have a lot of
We
problems.
don't have a lot of. We have one problem. That's
One
it, we
big fucking problem.
No, I mean we were gonna do one today. We had other problems.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tom,
yeah.
you're not gonna like this.
Okay.
The cheapest tickets for
Oh, no.
Nassau Coliseum, the one show Elton John is doing,
Okay.
and I think it's the last show of the tour, which is really
shit. And when imagine ending your career at Nassau Coliseum.
Actually, no, this is November. It goes through 2020, right?
I think
Tour?
so.
All right, maybe that's wrong, but the cheapest ticket is
Mm-hmm.
$355.
That's a spicy meatball.
Although, floor A,
Uh-huh.
A1, row 12, the 12th row in the whole Coliseum,
Uh-huh.
3 tickets together, $858 each.
Oh, yeah, but I mean that's still very expensive.
But
too.
like $900 to sit in the 12th row at an
I
Elton
would
John
never
concert
pay $900.
where Billy Joel might come out.
I wouldn't pay $900 if Billy Joel was going to sit on my lap
9.9,
during the
amazing deal from SeatGeek.
show. Oh, all right. Well, if it's an amazing deal,
The higher the deal score, the greater the bang for the buck.
I would never. Well, how much would you pay for any ticket to anything?
What do you mean?
Like, how much would you pay for a ticket to a concert? Like, what's your limit?
Front row.
Yeah, just like the best possible, like front row. The fucking Beatles have come back.
$5,000?
Well, yeah, I guess if the Beatles came back and it was only going to be one show and you were in the front row.
Yeah, probably like $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably like write a book about it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, all right.
Yeah, I think the advance from my book would cover the ticket if it was
Yeah.
$10,000. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and they buy the book just for the secrets of how to come back to life.
Exactly. I'd hound them for it while they were trying to play Hard Day's Night.
How'd you come back? All right. That's it. We'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.